Alright guys, welcome back. Today we're gonna do X, issue number 10 from Dark Horse Comics. I like this series a lot, I don't know what this is, but I like this very dark, gritty, over the top, brutal comic, right? When I first, saw X, I think, I don't know, man, it looks lame, with the giant broken cape or ripped cape and then just a wet, how do you say, a leather suit. But boy, was I wrong. This this book is so cool. Anyway, I like the artist too, by the way. But we've got to check it out. So we start here. There's a murder, and yeah, looks gruesome. So it seems that their backs were broken by someone. And if a Bane is on Dark Horse in Arcadia, no, I'm joking. Anyway, so this is the lieutenant that we come a little bit. We see him a little bit later, right? So meanwhile, in, I don't know, maybe some Italian restaurant, I'm not sure if it's Italian, but these are mob guys, and it seems that there's some, I don't know, accidents because of, we see a lot of smoke and probably some accident with grease fire. And, but he realizes that he is also, sought by enemies, that wants him dead. He says, I heard Carmine's looking to clean house. Maybe he starts with me. And why are we here in the open? But then X, gets him. And Julio Vitas, you know who I am? Yeah, let's talk. All right, Chris Warner is the penciler. He's doing some great things. I'm going to show you a little bit. Stephen Grant writer, Tim Bradstreet, and a lot of other people as well. Great attention to detail. So then we have some goons from Carmine Tango or Tango Carmine. I mean, what is it with these names, right? So this guy's called Christy. And what's it with these names? Tango, Carmine, Christy. Anyway, they need to get something for Carmine, and the other one is not really a big fan of it because he thinks that he's just a goon that, some kind of a, how do you say, gopher. He says, why do we need to pick it up? I have plans. All right, so they're here at this warehouse, and some cool visuals like this negative space here. Instead of black, it's just, red and orange, right? So Christy says, hey, I'm coming right back. So he grabs the woman that is following him, but this one is working for Major Teal, another player. Gretchen, what are you doing here? You canceled lunch. Teal thinks I'm at lunch. It's been so long since I've seen you. Not my idea, babe. And to hell with Teal, he says. But then X is here. So as of today, we still don't have seen his face, which I like. I like that mystery. Okay, so Christy says, Camille finds out you're here. That I'm here. We're both not going to wake in the dark alley. Anyone else know Gretchen? No, nobody knows about this. Not about us. We can do whatever we want. I keep telling you, we run this town. All right. So he comes back a little bit later, and it seems there's a coffin that he need to, I don't know, get into the car. He says, who died? Jumbo the elephant? That made me chuckle. He says, so the other one says, I tell you, word on the street, Tango's off his head. Too many people sniffing for blood. There's trouble coming. Lots of people waiting for Tango to go all week for a long time. This doesn't say sanity. All right, so Christy is here with Tango, and he's paying some respects to a guy that died. But Christy says, hey, what are we doing here? You are being hunted. People are saying that you are weak. You need to get to safety. And there's also the X-Keller, right? But then, Carmine says, I don't care. I do what I want. Pay your respects. Yeah, he's dead. I knew that guy. A dead guy. So what, he says. You want us to be here? The X-Keller got you so spooked. You want to die, is that it? There are guys looking to kill you. Carmine says, you're young and you're enthusiastic. I appreciate that. I'll let what you said pass, but not twice. It's under control. Now pay respects. He was a very famous in Arcadia once. So, but then the corpse comes to life and grabs Christy, but it seems they all know what's happening. But this guy speaks a little bit in quotes or riddles, and Carmine says, this is the Ziggurat. He had other names. Now he's the Ziggurat. Tell him who's talking, Christy. Give him names and forget about them. They don't exist anymore. The X-Keller? Who was he? But then the X-Keller is also here. And it seems that this guy was the one that marked his face. So this is a flashback. And right in the alley where X was born, I guess. Right? And the great thing is that the artist draws this particular panel here so that you see the anger bursting from the page. You see the anger in his eye. He basically wants to jump down and kill this guy, I guess. But it's not going to do that. He's going to wait. So it's going to be fun. Meanwhile, we're going to Major Teal. And Major Teal is, have an appointment with Lieutenant Timothy. Timothy is a good guy. He's a good lieutenant. He's basically, Gotham City's lieutenant, but then for Arcadia, right? And Teal says, hey, I'll look for your file. And he says, you don't take bribes? You won't go on the pad? I don't know what the pad is, but maybe something like that. It's a bad time for ethics. I'd rather not continue with discussion, Major Teal. I need to replace Anderson. So Anderson was a commissioner who died, and he was at the funeral. And he says, I got some candidates. Inspector Cossie, I'm sure you know, an old school fuck cop. The department would follow him without hesitation. And then we have Moose Hughes, governor's office suggested him. I think the party's grooming him, Diana Goretti's handpicked boy. And then there is you. No, sir, I don't want the job, he says. I haven't offered it, says Teal. We couldn't make this one hell of a town, though, couldn't we? You're on the streets. You know how hot it's getting. One spark and everything's burns. You don't have to burn with it. Keep that in mind. I'll be in touch. Writing is sharp. I said that a couple of times. The writing is really, really cool. It really, gives that edge, the darkness, the danger. These are not guys that you want to play with around. Very nicely done. But then X is in his room and he says, not him. Not him. He has a different part to play. So the lieutenant is now being followed by a bunch of cop cars from the cops. And, we've seen these guys before in the last issue. He said, knock it off, I'm a cop. We know who you are. Pull over. Now, another great visual. Now, look at this. So this guy is, tried to block him. And he knows he's driving, I don't know how many miles. Looks in the rearview mirror, pulls the brake, and, steps on the brake and closes his eyes and then deliberately let this guy ram him from behind. That's smart. He drives away, but then the cop's stepping out and shoots at the tires, and then he crashes into this, shop, this store. Now, I must admit that, the blue is really popping. I'm not sure what's happening here. It's very, difficult to see that this is the front of the car. I have to look a little bit closely. But then he steps out, and there's 6 people, including a woman. What's wrong with you? I'm a cop, he says. There is a mighty judgment coming, Lieutenant. You're in the way. Eagle-hearted, you. Shh, no names. We're the Knights of Judgment. It's time for a change. You all cops, listen to me. You're abusing your duty, breaking the law. Listen to yourself. Look around. Do you see any law? Time was police were respected, feared. Where they walked, their presence was enough to keep the peace. All town darn now. Cops are nothing. They're laughed at. It's not right, but it's the new times. Adjustments are being made. New times demand great men, not rule jockeys. So he's basically threatening him to, get out of town and don't, take the offer that Teal is, offering him. He says, I heard Arizona is nice. Hot maybe, but you cross us, you feel the heat. You die of it. That's nice. That's nice words. But then, I kid you not, look who's here. It's X. I love the fact that they're all just looking behind him, right? In shock. What is he doing here? Kill him. All right. Then the fighting is great. And I'm going to show you cool panels. So X says, the new times are my times. My law is the law. Tell that to your master. I love not only the visuals, but also the fighting sequence. It has consequences. With the consequence, I mean the reaction that people have. Instead of, him breaking this guy's leg, I believe he's breaking him, and then, getting out of the panel and fighting other guys, you see that this guy's in pain, and he's getting attacked, he's blocking, and this woman and this guy's trying to, knock his head in with the crowbar, right? And then he just swings this guy into the others, right? And this guy's still writhing in pain, right? It's so cool. So he blocks. He says, break my law and be marked. Be marked twice and die. So this guy's been marked, although not, on his flesh, what he normally does. But, a mark is a mark, right? And so he's... You should know that by now. And this is what I mean with the aftermath, right? So all his legs are hurting. This guy's nuts is on fire. And they're all writhing in pain on the floor, broken, battered, beaten up, right? But then the other guy says, we heard it. We don't care. We have you figured out a long time. A cheap little extortionist. You think you're fooling anyone, he says. But then, oh no, he says, you can beat us all. You can begin to imagine what we are, but then, yeah, he impales him with his own crowbar. He says, yeah, I can. This guy's in shock. The dream is bigger than. That was your warning. Tell your master. Go away. And then we see again the cross of X, double marked, means death. So cool. I like the colors, the blue is really popping, the lighter blue, the darker blue, the little bit of, grayish black here, and then the darker blue on the side. Really nice. Love it. So he says to Lieutenant Timothy, you're honest, but your bosses are corrupt. They used you. You shielded them. Those days are over. Your life is mine to give or take. You're mine. You're working for me now. But then suddenly he just unloads on him and shoots him 6 times. That came out of nowhere. So I think that is ballsy. This guy's been beaten almost half to death. But then he has no bullets anymore. And since X has Kevlar, he stands still, looks at it, and I don't know, man, Lieutenant is out. I believe he's in total shock, maybe because of the blood loss. He's still using the... try to pull the trigger, but there's no bullets anymore. You see just click, 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 click. And X walks away. Man, what a good scene, man. Oh, man, I love it. So X comes back, and he's hurt probably. He says, you don't belong here, says he to this guy. This guy helps him, in the previous issues. He says, I'm being hunted. I cannot stay there. They think I can lead them to you. I haven't got anywhere else to turn to. I haven't got anywhere else to go. Nobody does. Not in Arcadia. And that leads us to the next issue, guys. Yeah. Another banger. Man, what a great book. I said it maybe a couple of times before, but this looks like, I don't know, Batman and the Punisher on steroids. It's really good. Guys, let me know in the comments what you think about this. I see you next time. Bye-bye.